Welcome to East Alabama Today, featuring topics, events, and interesting people from all over East Alabama. Hosted by Carl Brady. Now, let's get right to the show. Here's Carl Brady.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thanks for being with us on today's program. As always, we'll start you off with a little contact information and let you know how to get in touch with us here on the show. If you have ideas for the show of special events, things going on in your community with service organizations or civic clubs, let me know about those things by sending me an email at cbrady@tv24.tv. That's cbrady@tv24.tv. We also want to know about the interesting people who live in your community. Maybe you know someone who is a writer, an artist, or a musician. Maybe they have an odd or an interesting hobby and you think they'd be a great guest for the program. That's exactly who we're looking for. So send me information about those folks as well. Again, at the email address, cbrady@tv24.tv. Now, coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about the American Red Cross. March is Red Cross Month throughout the country, and the Red Cross is more than just local blood drives and blood mobiles. We'll tell you all about it and how you can support your local Red Cross in East Alabama coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. Welcome into East Alabama Today. Again, I'm Carl Brady, and we thank you for being with us on today's program. We're talking about the American Red Cross. March, as you know, is Red Cross Month, and it has been designated as Red Cross Month for many, many years, and we'll go into some of those details coming up as we go through the program. Our guests today are Joy Ballenger. Joy, welcome to the program. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Remember to talk into your microphone there. And Jenny Spencer. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carl.
I'm glad to have you both with us today. And Joy is, since they've rearranged, what is your title now? We used to call them chapter managers back when I was more involved with the Red Cross. What's your title now, and what area are you in charge of?
Well, I have Etowah, Cherokee, and actually we're just chapter executives, executive directors,
Okay.
mid-market community chapter executive, just anything that you want to call it.
Yeah, so you handle Cherokee and Etowah counties. And Jenny, you're with us today as a representative of the Heroes campaign, which is the big fundraiser every year for the Red Cross.
Correct, Carl, I am. I'm the co-chair of the Heroes campaign this year along with Angela Anderson. And we are very excited about this campaign that we hope will bring a lot of good funds for the American Red Cross.
Well, Joy, tell us a little bit about Red Cross Month. Start us off with the details. The month of March traditionally been the month to recognize the American Red Cross.
That's right. The American Red Cross uses the month of March as Red Cross Awareness Month. And during this month, we have different events and awareness programs going on in all of the chapters in all the counties in the region, which is Alabama, and the United States, and that is to recognize our local heroes. Heroes can be those that donate blood, they can be those who take the CPR, first aid, babysitting classes, and then those that volunteer. The volunteer as our disaster volunteers, our volunteers in the office, just anything that anyone does. Really, I consider anyone who has ever had anything to do with Red Cross is a hero and is a volunteer.
You know, the Red Cross is involved in a lot of stuff, much more than just blood drives. You know, that's one of the first things people think of with Red Cross is blood drives, but especially as we've seen more and more disasters throughout the country, the Red Cross plays a leading role in disaster response, both locally and on a national level.
That's right, that's right. We are congressionally chartered to serve in a disaster times as well as to serve the military. The service to armed forces is a big component of what we do. It's health and safety, preparedness training, as well as the disaster, responding in the wake of a disaster. We are not the first responders, but we go in right behind them and do damage assessment and are able to assist. It may be in feeding. We partner, too, with a lot of other organizations like the Southern Baptist Association, the NAACP, just all kinds of other organizations. And there is no ethnicity challenge to us in what we do in working with other people. And we go in the wake of a disaster and are able to help within the community. communities. And then also we like to recognize, like you said, those that have donated blood. Every individual who donates a pint of blood helps assist in saving 3 lives for that 1 pint of blood. So that's huge.
Jenny, talk about the Heroes campaign for this year. What's as the co-chair, what all's going on? What's happening with the Heroes campaign? How can people help with that?
Well, Carl, what we've tried to do is get several different groups of people involved. Professionals, we have a group from the medical community that are having a team. We had a group from a local bank that ran recently a run for Red Cross with all the proceeds benefiting the Heroes campaign. We have a group of attorneys with a team. We have the school system, as you will hear in a few minutes from Russ Waits, and they do all kinds of interesting things for their children, their students. During a particular week, the children might get to do something fun to the teacher, you know, and if they pay $1, they maybe get to pie them in the face or do something that is very enjoyable to them to see their teacher or their principal have to endure. Or they might just have a hat day or a shoe day or a Jersey Day. But all of these things enable them to contribute $1 and also teach these children to be a part of giving.
Right. Now, the Heroes campaign has lots of, in the past, you've done different events. Each appointed or volunteer fundraiser has sponsored special events and things like that. How's it working this year? What can people expect to see from the Heroes fundraising campaign this year?
Well, you know, probably, as I said, in the schools, there'll be some different activities with that. My co-chair and I are hosting a no-show gala. So that's going to be one of our main events, and then it will close with, of course, Uncorked, which is our signature large event that ends the Heroes campaign. And
talk about that a little bit. That is a big event that's coming up actually in May, on May 2nd at the Pittman Theater. Tell us some of the details of Uncorked. What's that all about?
Well, Uncorked started about 3 years ago as a team effort from Marcy Gregerson. She was asked to be one of the team leaders for the Heroes campaign for Red Cross, and she came up with this to have a wine auction. So it has just accumulated a lot of different aspects of that now, and we call it, last year we did a Derby theme because it is the weekend, the Thursday prior to the weekend of the Kentucky Derby. And it was so much fun. All of the women had on hats, even some of the men. And so it was a lot of fun. So we have it's Uncorked, the Derby 2013 is what we're calling it this year. It is at the Pittman Theater on May 2nd at 6 o'clock. And it's a lot of fun. We auction off a lot of silent auction items, and we have some large live auction items. Christy King with C. King Benefit Auctions is our auctioneer, and she does a great job. She's very encouraged and very encouraging and very enthusiastic, and has a heart for this. That's the main thing with Christy too. So she does a great job. We have a lot of nice trips that are auctioned off, and so it's a good thing. That will be, like Jenny said, that will be our ending, the finale to the Heroes campaign.
So basically, all during the month of March, during the month of April, people need to keep an eye out for opportunities to give. There are going to be lots of things going on, lots of things for people to look for, opportunities to give.
That's right, exactly.
All right, I think we need to take a quick commercial break, so we'll do that right now, and we'll return in just a moment with more of the American Red Cross. And we welcome you back into East Alabama today. Again, today we're talking about the American Red Cross, the month of March being Red Cross month throughout the country. Joy Ballenger is with us, staying with us here. Joy is the chapter executive for the Cherokee and Etowah County Red Cross chapters. And we're joined now by Russ Waits. Russ is with us today. Russ is the principal at Mitchell Elementary School up on the mountain in Gadsden, and is a team captain for one of the Heroes teams. Tell us about your team and what you guys have planned.
Okay, Carl. About 4 years ago, I got involved in this just as a team captain representing Gadsden City Schools, and so we looked for ways to help raise money for the Heroes campaign. And the reason it energized me was because it was for our local chapter. I learned back when the hurricane hit Haiti that some donations are for international relief, and some donations that are given, even if they're not used, they go towards things that are not local. But then I also learned that there's a local fund.
Right.
You know, the person that experiences a fire here at home, this goes to them. So, of course, we were excited about that. We had a successful roadblock for the hurricane relief, and then we kind of piggybacked on that for that Heroes campaign. And what we do is we try to find some way to get the kids involved. First, we use the visual, that Red Cross. It's so universal,
right?
And I just went class to class with that sign, and I asked them, what did this mean? And pretty much the answer was help. And I said, you're right. That means when you see that, the help's on the way.
Right.
And so it gave us a chance to teach them what the Red Cross was, teach them about service. You give, I tried to connect it to something they could understand. If you could skip one meal at McDonald's and give that amount to the Red Cross, it would help somebody in need. So that's how I got involved, and I'm the captain for the school system, and we will be targeting a week in April where we're all going to try to coordinate events that will raise money for the Heroes campaign. So look for that to be happening, and hopefully, maybe some media will come out, because some of it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. All you got to do is let us know. We'll be there.
They duct taped me to the wall one year, and that was a lot of fun. So things like that we've got going on.
Why is it important to reach the kids this early and start getting them involved in Red Cross?
Well, I think that anytime we can instill a service-minded thought process to them, it's going to stick with them. I was just sharing with the ladies earlier, we just did a drive in January that supported the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society through a penny campaign. It's called Pennies for Patients. And we raised over $2,000 at our elementary school for this. And they could see that what they did helped someone that was sick. Imagine if you were sick, or if it was your brother or sister, you would want to help them. And it allows us to teach them and instill in them that we're not just all about us and what we need, but we can look for ways to help others. And it's really no sacrifice. The pennies that you had, or the change that was laying around, that's something you can give.
Yeah.
And I think if we instill that early, that it will carry on. And we've done this now for a few years, so it's in there. It's a part of their psyche to do this. They ask about it. Yeah. When are we going to do the hero, or what are we going to do this year for the Heroes? So if we can instill it in them early, hopefully as they grow into adults, and they will continue to want to help and serve in these areas where people are in need.
Right. But Joy, Russ mentioned something very important and early on, talking about the money and where it goes. 91 cents out of every dollar donated on an average goes back into Red Cross services and back into investing in people. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right.
And how is that money split up? How do we see that coming back to us in East Alabama?
Well, anytime that we raise money, it stays in the community. And if we had a major disaster, like the tornadoes that we all are aware of that have happened in Alabama, especially in 2011, there is a lot more money that will come into the community than what we can raise in the community.
Right.
But your dollars, the citizens' dollars, do stay in this community. And like Russ said, we like to be able to use use and utilize and train those youth, and because they're our future, as we know. So that's what we like to do, is to be able to expound on their knowledge and their creativity too. Right. We had a group in last night at our chapter from the Girl Scouts. It was a Girl Scout troop from Rainbow City, Brownies and Girl Scouts, and they were so much fun, and they put such a warm light on what we do, and they're very interested. So I think it goes a long way for them to be able to learn. But anytime that we have a disaster, in 2011, the Alabama region budgeted for $6 million for disaster, and we spent over 20. Wow. So we just never know. We're lucky in Etowah County, and that we have not been affected in a major way, and we hope that we stay that way. I hope we do. But we're prepared, and we want our citizens to be prepared. That's what we do. We want everybody to be Red Cross ready, and we teach the trainings free so that everyone will be, so that their lives will be saved.
How do you keep the giving up when you look at budgeting like that, where you budget $6 million for disasters and have to spend $20 million, that's a lot of money. And you've got a lot of organizations fighting for, in a rough economy, for very few available dollars from people to give nowadays. You got the Heart Association, the Cancer Society. Everywhere you turn, somebody is asking for a donation. How do you guys keep the word out there, keep the fundraising up?
Well, we do have different campaigns. I will say that we do have different campaigns that go on throughout the year. The Heroes campaign, we have a major gift campaign, and then we have our boarding pin campaign. Our board members support the Red Cross, and that's one thing that speaks very well for our board members, that they too donate the monies. And then the community is just a very giving community. I think it's that way always. I think Etowah County is the best. Of course, I think that we network quite well, but the Red Cross is not federally funded. We do receive United Way dollars, and we're very thankful for those, but then we also raise the money and it often enough it just walks in the door. We have a lot of people that have supported the Red Cross. It's been in existence, since the 1800s when Clara Barton started it. 1917 is when we were chartered in Alabama and in this region. So it's just I think everybody really wants to support the Red Cross because of the length of the service that we've always given.
Now, how do people get involved with this campaign, other than, we talked earlier of, there are going to be these hero teams doing all kinds of events, and you can participate in their events, but what if you want to be a team? What if you want to go beyond just participating in an event, or sending $1 to school with your kids so they can wear their pajamas one day or something like that? What if you want to go beyond that and really get involved? How do you do that?
There's a lot of things that people can do. And earlier Jenny mentioned the fact of a bridge club. There are a lot of the mahjong clubs that might be able to do something. They could hold some kind of with their clubs when they're playing cards, do something like that. There's a lot of church groups, the youth, the schools. If anyone wants to do roadblocks, we don't usually, we haven't done one this year, but anyone is able to do that if they'd like to do that. So there's a lot of different things. They might have a dance-a-thon. There could be dollars for disaster or change for change. We'd like to change a life by giving of your change, like Russ said, and dollars for disaster.
Anything going on special in Cherokee County? We don't want to leave the Cherokee County folks out of this, because they're in our coverage area as well. We've talked a lot about Etowah County and events here in Etowah County, but just kind of give us some of the highlights of Cherokee County and how the folks in Cherokee County can get involved.
What we do in Cherokee County, our co-chair and our board chair now, Sheila Barrett, has been great with the Heroes campaign. And what they do there, what we are going to do is Sheila just goes and asks people and individuals and businesses to make a pledge. There is levels of pledges and sponsorships, and then when they choose their sponsorship, then it is posted on a wall. We have a wall outside of the post at Model T's and Cherokee County, and David Crawford is the owner, and he puts these banners on the side of his building. So it's you cannot miss it. When you drive up through Main Street of Cherokee County, you cannot miss seeing that Heroes wall. And so individuals do that, and then also we're going to have a Heroes breakfast, and that will be with the Chamber of Commerce, and that'll be on May the 16th. We're going to host the Chamber breakfast in Cherokee County. Everyone is welcome, as well as then honor some local heroes in Cherokee County.
Do you guys still do the Super Supper up there? Are you familiar with that event? I was on the board of the Cherokee County Red Cross when we started that event, so I was involved with the first several years of that. That was always a fun event, soup cooking competition, and everybody does a chili cook-off or a barbecue cook-off. We had soup and a silent auction all with it. Is that still something that goes on?
Well, we're not going to do that this year. And I think we're going to have to bring it back because it was rave reviews, but the board did decide not to do the Super Supper this year. It was very successful in the past and was last year as well. And it is a lot of fun, and we've already had a lot of calls about it, so we probably will bring that back. But this year we are going to do the Heroes Breakfast.
We need to take our commercial break, so we'll do that now and come back in just a moment and give you some of the contact information, website information, phone numbers, things like that, of how you can get involved directly with your local Red Cross chapter. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. And we welcome you back in for our final segment of East Alabama Today. We are again talking with the American Red Cross. March is Red Cross Month throughout the country, so it's always a month where we spend a little time talking about the Red Cross and spreading the word of what the Red Cross does. And remember, as we've talked about, Red Cross is about a whole lot more than just blood drives and blood mobiles, family fires, local disasters, national disasters. Anytime something is going on anywhere in the world, the Red Cross is responding. But we always want to know what's happening for us locally, how the Red Cross affects us locally, and there are many, many things that the Red Cross is involved with. Joy, talk a little bit about how people can learn more information. How do they get in touch with the Red Cross, whether they want to volunteer, make a donation, maybe there is a family fire or something like that, and people need to get more information about what's going on.
Well, our local Red Cross in Etowah County, the telephone number is 256-547-8667, and in Cherokee County, 256-927-3797. We do have an answering service, so after hours, all the calls are answered. Our disaster action team is notified if in case there is a disaster or a fire, or if an individual, recently the sheriff, Todd Entrican, called, and there was a young man who was lost in the woods, and they called after hours. The answering service was able to get in touch with our disaster action team leaders, and we went out and serviced those responders that were looking for the individual. So there's all kinds of things going on. And then we do some happy things too, as far as when the cruise ship came in Mobile, Alabama, Red Cross was there. So you usually see that Red Cross van or the Red Cross food truck, we call it, the ERV, the emergency response vehicle, in a lot of different places. But you also, if anyone is interested in volunteering, please call our office, one of the two offices, or you can go to the website, alredcross.org, and there's a volunteer link there. You can just click on that, and it's very user-friendly, and navigate through that. And then also to call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
So multiple ways that you can volunteer and give and be a part of your local American Red Cross chapter. And before we go, we do want to remind you of the big special event that's coming up on May 2nd, Thursday, May 2nd. It is the Red Cross's Uncorked event, which is a wine auction, and it's going to be at the Pittman Theater, Broad Street in downtown Gadsden. Call for details. Call the Etowah County Red Cross office, and they can give you the details. Joy, thank you so much for being with us. Russ, thank you as well, and we want to thank Jenny Spencer for joining us earlier, and you too. So thanks for joining us here on East Alabama Today. We'll see you next time.